Rome streets echo with distant celebration. Inside a secluded chamber, a young bride prepares for a ritual no one speaks of. Her life has been guided by duty, obedience, and the ideals of Roman womanhood. My name is Mr. Shahid, and on this channel, Crimson Archives, we explore the hidden corridors of history. Today we uncover a secret so powerful that even centuries later, the empire tried to erase it completely. Picture this, a Roman father. His family is respected, wealthy, connected to influential names. He has done everything society demands. He has secured a prestigious marriage for his 16-year-old daughter. She is educated, graceful, trained to embody every Roman ideal of virtue. The wedding ceremony is flawless. The feast overflows with food and wine. Music lifts the spirits and laughter fills the hall. She smiles because she must. This is her role, her duty, and now the final unspoken ritual awaits. She glances back once, locking eyes with her father. Confusion, fear, a silent question she cannot voice. He looks away, not for lack of love, but because he knows what will happen and cannot intervene. Between roughly 300 BCE and 200 CE, Roman marriage law included a provision mentioned repeatedly in legal texts, but seldom explained. Medieval writers later called it jus primae noctis, but in Rome it was known as ditus devorum, an offering to the gods. Here's what Roman fathers never told their daughters. Marriage was not a partnership. It was a transfer of ownership. Authority shifted from father to husband, a legal transition called manus. But before this transfer could be completed, a woman had to be purified. The law explicitly required it. Rome's 12 tables, the foundational legal code, mandated that no bride of a proper Roman family may enter marriage without purification by the appointed guardians of divine will, the priests of the fertility. God is central to Roman religious life. Roman religion was transactional. Offerings were exchanged for divine favor. Grain for fertility, wine for victory, animals for protection. But in the case of marriage, the offering was not livestock or wine, it was the bride herself. She was trained her entire life to obey, to serve, to know her place. Yet no one explained that before she belonged to her husband. She belonged to the gods, and the gods demanded proof. The law does not specify what that proof was, but archaeology speaks clearly. Beneath major Roman temples, chambers have been uncovered that were clearly built for ritual use. Stone beds carved from solid rock, drainage channels in the floors, doors designed to lock from the outside. In 2003, excavations beneath the Temple of Bona, Dare on the Aventine Hill, revealed one such chamber fully intact. The walls were covered not with prayers but with names. Hundreds of female names, each paired with a date corresponding to Roman wedding celebrations. British archaeologist Catherine Johns spent 3 years documenting these inscriptions, concluding that they were records of women who underwent a ritual process in this space. While the texts are vague, contextual evidence points to something horrifying. This was where priests claimed the fati, right to consummate the marriage, before the husband. After the public ceremony and the feast, after the laughter and music faded, the bride was escorted, not by her husband, but by older female attendants who had endured the same ritual. They led her down narrow stone stairs, away from torchlight into cold, confined corridors beneath the earth. The walls closed in. At the end of the passage stood a door. Behind it waited one or more priests. Sources disagree on the exact number. Most written testimony survives only in fragments, because later generations actively tried to destroy it. The playwright Plautus, writing around 205 BCE, referenced the practice in a comedy that was later heavily censored. Only fragments remain. In one surviving line, a character says, "The gods take their portion before any man. That is the law." "It has always been the law," another asks. "And the bride, what does she receive?" The answer? The blessing of purification, if she survives it. That line was removed from later copies. The philosopher Lucretius addressed the ritual more directly. In the 1st century BCE, medieval monks attempted to erase his passage entirely. Only a single manuscript survived. Rediscovered in 1417, he wrote, "The rites of Bona are called sacred, but they are terror. What the priest claims to offer the gods he takes for himself. And the law shields this theft with the word divine. Read that again. The law shields this theft with the word divine. Imagine the machinery of this system. You are a Roman father. You know this ritual exists. You know your daughter will undergo it, yet you cannot refuse. It isn't violence, it's religion. It isn't assault, it's purification. It isn't a crime, it's divine law. The priests claim holiness. The law enforces silence. Society calls it tradition. And the girls disappear into chambers beneath the temples. What makes this practice difficult to reconstruct isn't lack of evidence. It's the silence engineered around it. Women who endured the ritual weren't merely discouraged from speaking, they were legally forbidden. In 169 BCE, the Lex Voconia imposed strict religious secrecy. Any woman revealing sacred rites could be charged with impietas. Penalties included exile, loss of property, and in some cases, death. Victims were silenced by law, perpetrators cloaked in holiness, and men who recorded history were either participants or beneficiaries. Scholars who later claimed sources were fragmentary, were describing the result of a system designed to erase testimony. When speech is forbidden, people find other ways to testify. In the 1920s, archaeologists excavating a villa in Pompeii uncovered a deliberately walled-off room. Inside, a fresco depicted a wedding scene. At first glance, it looked ordinary. A bride, a groom, guests celebrating. But in the background, almost invisible, another scene unfolded. A woman being led downstairs by robed figures. Her body twisted, her face toward a man standing above her. The painter emphasized her fear and confusion, far more than the central scene. The technical precision and hidden placement suggest the artist intended this memory to survive. When speech was impossible, they sealed the room, trusting time to preserve the truth. And it did. After the ritual, the bride returned to her wedding celebration, sometimes hours later, sometimes the next day. Roman brides wore a veil called the flamium, which was never removed. Scholars long claimed this symbolized modesty, but Roman medical texts reveal otherwise. The physician Soranus, writing in the 2nd century CE, noted that many brides showed signs of recent injury on their wedding night. He explained that the veil concealed evidence of the ritual, preventing husbands from asking questions. The veil was not about virtue, it was concealment, about maintaining the fiction that the bride was untouched. Law, religion, medicine, and tradition worked together as a machinery of silence. In 186 BCE, something shifted. Hispala Phaeatina appeared before the Roman consuls and revealed the inner workings of the Bacchanalia, secret religious rites operating across Italy. Her testimony described underground gatherings, sexual coercion, and abuse under priestly authority. The Senate panicked, arrested priests, closed temples, and executed leaders. Yet when multiple women attempted to testify about the marriage, purification ritual at the Temple of Bona Dea, the Senate refused to hear them. They claimed it was tradition, exempt from scrutiny. Abuse survives by claiming age equals legitimacy. Those who tried to speak were threatened, charged with impietas, and exiled. One brave woman, whose name remains unknown, stood in the forum and described the ritual, naming priests and lies. She was arrested, charged, exiled to Sicily, and vanished from history. Not all traces disappeared. In 1964, archaeologists discovered graffiti near the Roman Forum, dating to roughly 180 BCE. It read, "Tradition is what monsters call their crimes when no one stops." Them, someone risked everything to leave a message for the future. The ritual did not end overnight. By the 1st century BCE, wealthy families could pay bribes for symbolic purification, avoiding the underground chamber. Priests accepted the bribes. The ritual was never about the gods. It was about power and access. By the start of the Common Era, elite practice largely vanished, but poorer families remained vulnerable. Classical scholars often dismissed these accounts, calling them fragmented or exaggerated. Yet archaeology, legal codes, literary fragments, and medical writings all point to a horrifying truth. Roman marriage purification rituals included sexual assault, systematized and protected by law and religion. But this history is also about resistance. Women left names on chamber walls. Artists hid frescoes. Graffiti warned the future. Families paid bribes to protect daughters. The traces endured. Today, walking the Aventine Hill, you see only broken columns, but beneath lies the chamber, with names carved into stone: Julia, Cornelia, Flavia, Fulvia. Evidence of survival, proof of what occurred, etched to endure when speech was forbidden. History is not only written by those in power. Sometimes it is scratched into stone by those with no other means to testify. The Roman marriage purification ritual is not unique for cruelty. It is unique because enough evidence survived for reconstruction. Abuse disguised as tradition, enforced by religion and law, maintained through silence. That pattern is unique.